Hello everyone and welcome once again to Tapas Towers Ambiente head office here. So today is going to be a slightly different recipe we're bringing to you, in so much as it's a sweet, it's a dessert recipe, and I don't usually do those. But this kind of goes back to a few years ago. We were travelling through the north of Spain and we were spending a couple of days in San Sebastián, and we came across this place that did this iconic Spanish dish. It's called the Burnt Basque Cheesecake. The place in question is a little restaurant bar cheesecake specialist called La Viña in the old town in San Sebastián, and really impressed with it. We must have gone there 3 or 4 times during the short amount of time we were in San Sebastián. When I came home, I wanted to try and see if I could replicate the recipe. The ingredients we've got here make the best burnt Basque cheesecake, so I'll quickly go through them with you. First of all, you need one of these. It's one of the spring form kind of tins, 10-inch. Line it with baking parchment. You also need a kilo of full-fat soft cheese, Philadelphia, something like that. You can see I've already got mine in the bowl here. In addition to that, you need 400 grams of sugar. We've got caster sugar here. About 8 eggs, depends on the size, 6 if they're really big. These are sort of medium size, so I'm using 8 there. A couple of 100 ml of double cream. And then you want about a teaspoon of salt. And I like a little bit of vanilla essence in mine as well. And basically all you do is bang all those in the bowl and mix them. Now I've got it really well mixed. You want to come out with it'll be quite a stiff batter at the end of it all. But anyway, we'll start throwing them in, and we'll probably cut and come back, but you'll get the idea. So in with the sugar. See, it's a little bit lumpy, but that won't matter because we're going to mix it up shortly. Let's put some salt in. So probably want about a teaspoon, so I'm going to use coarse sea salt here. Let's put a little bit of the vanilla essence in. About that. We're about 20 ml, something in that order. Okay, let's throw our 8 eggs in. Kind of looks like something you used to see on Tiswas in the 70s, but let's gloss over that. And then finally the cream. 200 ml of double cream. Put most of that out of there. Okay, and then we need our mixer. Mix it fairly slow to begin with. You just want to incorporate all the ingredients. It's going to take quite a while. So I'm on the slowest speed here. And I think this is a bit where we usually fast forward. So we'll see on the other side of the speedy bit. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. We will put the ingredients on our Facebook page alongside this post, so you don't need to write anything down, just enjoy the mixing. Now, the other thing we should probably say is, what you want to drink with this when it's done is something sweet. P.S. Now the other thing to mention is, we've got an oven under here, it's quite warm. And you want a really hot oven for this. So you want to whack it to full. I mean, ideally you want to be sort of 250, but not every oven goes up to that. This one I've got here goes up to about 225, but it's a fan oven. So, highest temperature, it needs to be a really hot oven. You want to have it warming for 20 minutes or so beforehand as well. So as soon as it goes in, it's starting cooking. The other thing is, when you do put it in the oven, kind of do it in one motion. Get it all ready, open the door, slide it in, close the door. So you're letting as little heat out as possible, because again, it needs to heat this. It'll cook for about 15 to 20 minutes, but you've got to keep watching it really, because you want to wait. Like its name, Burnt Basque Cheesecake, it's burnt on the top. It's kind of real, when I say burnt, it's kind of caramelised, so it's a lovely dark colour on the top. And then as soon as you break through that crust, you're into a lovely oozy, soft cheesecake, baked cheesecake texture. but it does need to cook really quickly, so don't lose too much heat when you open your oven door. Just open the door, slide it in, shut the door, and then just keep an eye on it. It's 20 minutes of your life you won't get back, but it's worth it. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Let's get rid of those. Stick them in that. So, there we go, that's our batter. And then that wants to go straight in to our tin. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so there we have it. That's the cheesecake before it goes in. Now, just the baking parchment, you want to leave it so it's kind of hanging out a little bit like that. It kind of helps when you want to peel off the parchment to get at the cheesecake once it's cooked. So, we're going in the oven. And like I said, really quickly. Okay, that wasn't that quick, but you get the idea. Okay, we'll see you in about 20 minutes time, but keep an eye on it, because what you're looking for is the top to go brown, and then, again, open the door very quickly, give it a bit of a shake, and it wants to have a little bit of a jelly-like texture in the middle. And when it's like that, and it's brown on the top, that's when you take it out. Could be anything between 15 and 20 minutes, depending on how hot your oven is and how efficient it is. Okay, we'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so we're about ready, I think, so here goes. Okay, so there you can see, we've got a burnt top. Now, if we do that, you can see it's a little bit it's a bit jelly. It's like almost like it's still runny in the middle. That's exactly how you want it. See, it's nicely browned on the top. The paper sort of contains it a little bit, where it does rise up a little bit above the cake tin. Now you want to leave the cake tin in place for a little bit until it cools. Now this wants to cool for maybe, well, you want to get it down to room temperature really. And then after it's cooled, then you need to refrigerate it. Now, ideally, if you've got the willpower, you want to stick it in the fridge overnight. Trust me, it'll be worth the wait. If you can't, it wants to be in there for at least 3 hours. So there we go. So when this is cooled down and chilled, we'll come back to it. See you later. Okay, yesterday we made our burnt Basque cheesecake, and here it is. We put it in the fridge overnight, managed to resist the temptation of tucking in, and as you can see, it's now all set up. So we're going to take a slice out of it. So to begin with, just peel back the paper. Now you can see now why that paper's there, and it just helps to kind of hold it in place and gives it a nice browned edge. Now, as we were saying yesterday, pair this with something really sweet. We've got a PX here, which is a fortified sherry from Hereford. It's a sherry that's made with the Pedro Jimenez grape, hence the PX, and they're actually left out to ripen in the sun once they've been harvested, so that when they are pressed to get the juice out, there's not an awful lot of volume of juice, but what there is extremely intense and sweet, and as you can see, it's a real thick, sticky wine. It's delicious. Now, if you want to be really indulgent to go with this, I took a few raisins last night and soaked them in some PX, put them in the fridge, again, just leave them overnight. This works fantastically on this. So I'm just going to drizzle a few of these on here. And there's some of the liquid. Okay, let's see what our burnt Basque cheesecake tastes like. That's superb. That's so good. It's kind of a moussey texture. Vanilla essence with pudding just gives it a very, well, a vanilla flavour. but it's so light, and it works really well with the PX and the raisins. Thanks for watching.